What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Revival. My name is JJ, and it's time for the next part of my Backlog Blitz 2023 rankings of the games I played this year. Coming in at number 15 is a game that people are probably going to wonder why it's so high, and I will explain. Divinity, Original Sin 2. Played it on PC. The fact that it's so high is mainly because I played it with 3 other people, and we played the entire story that way. Not that I didn't have fun. I had a blast. I had an amazing time playing this game when we were able to get together. It took us about, I think, 8 months to get through it because of scheduling, and it's nobody's fault. There was just 4 of us with 4 completely different lives, and just had to find time to do it. And not everybody was always available, so it was really tough to coordinate that, and it was so frustrating, especially for somebody like me who is, I try to beat games as quickly as possible, and so I was just chomping at the bit to want to keep going, and then it would just, something would happen and we can't play this weekend, or there were times when I couldn't play, and just scheduling was just really, really tough to get everybody together consistently. And again, nobody's fault, just the way it is, because I chose a game to play co-op like that, and I really wanted to enjoy it more, but that was literally the main thing that held it back. As far as the game goes itself, another drawback of playing with multiple people is you don't pay attention to the story as much, because we were mainly just kind of wandering around, just doing quests and everything like that. The fun for us came in during the combat, when we would coordinate attacks, figure out who's going to go where, who's going to do what. I played a rogue, and I had a blast with it, and just having a good time with the mechanics and playing this turn-based while we all kind of put our own strategies into action in the same fight. I just thought that was so much fun. Also, Mark and Adrian, yes, I was robbing you blind behind the scenes, stealing a lot of your gold throughout the game. So if your pockets ever felt lighter, guilty. So that was fun too. But it's a great game. It really is. I don't let the fact that I have this so high up on my list discourage you from trying it out, because it is amazing. This is purely based on just how frustrated I got trying to get everybody together to play it, because it was just because I wanted to play more. I wanted to play more, and I wanted to get through it. And in the end, we got to the final battle, and one of us couldn't even make it to that, but we had to do it because we had somebody who was going to be in a wedding, and we wouldn't have been able to play for another month or 2. So we just had to kind of just, with 3 of us, push through it and finish it up. But I had a blast when we did get to play. It was literally just because of the scheduling stuff that caused it to go a little bit down for me. So I highly, highly, highly recommend giving it a shot. I haven't played Divinity 1. If it's similar to this at all, I will probably go back and play it, but I will probably play it solo. Just because I can kick back, enjoy the story a little more, and get through it at my pace, and not in 8 months. But yeah, definitely recommend Divinity Original Sin 2. It's a great game. Just be ready if you are planning on playing through the whole campaign with a group of 4, because you'll run into scheduling issues. At number 14 is Star Trek Online. So here's what's funny about this is, I had planned on playing this game the year before I picked Guild Wars 2, and I was like, yeah, come join me, come play, Friday nights I'll be on every Friday night, and to get to the point where I was comfortable feeling like I beat Guild Wars 2, I think we did the base game, and then I think we did the first expansion. So my goal was just to do the base game, but we liked it so much that we kept going. But so when I was like, I'm gonna do the same thing with Star Trek Online, because I really enjoyed what I played of that game, a while back, and I'm a big Star Trek fan as well. So I was super excited to jump into it, and I was like, every Friday night I'm gonna do this, and I kind of set the same goal for myself. I was like, all right, base game, that's all I'm gonna do, because I don't know how long it's gonna take, and one day a week, it could take me a while to do that. I beat the base storyline the first night, so it was like, I was like, oh, all right then, cool. Yes, here we are. So I did keep playing, and I decided instead to set the goal to get to max level. That did take a few months. I got there. I wish I had like a coach or somebody to like guide me through it. I played it on Xbox on my Series X. I wish I had somebody with me that was familiar with the game that could explain so much to me, because I was kind of like feeling around in the dark. I mean, it was playable, absolutely, and I had a good time with it. The storylines were pretty standard Star Trek. It was neat to see some of the characters from the TV shows, do their cameos and that kind of thing. But man, it was there's so many like currencies and different kinds of loot and different ways to upgrade your ships, different classes, there's just so many details to it, because the game's been out forever. And so I, approaching it, from a brand new player perspective, I was just like, man, I played it at launch, and that was pretty much it. And so I was like, this is not anything like I remember at all. So it was just very, very daunting. I had a good time with it, but I finished it so quickly. And like I said, I got to max level and just kind of left it there. I did a few of the expansion storylines. It was more of the same. It's just like watching Star Trek episodes and stuff, and it was neat. I really liked the aspect of having both space combat and ground combat. Sometimes the game got really hard, unless you were lucky enough to get grouped with other people who were online who were just super powerful and could blow through the stuff for you. It was just a mix of like good and confusing, and it was all over the place. But I did enjoy my time with it. It's hard for me to like recommend unless you're like a super just diehard Star Trek fan, because there's so many terms and names and things in there that I don't know that I would have fully understood prior to that. I'm sure you could. It's not like impossible, but yeah, good game, but just so much that I still, even being max level, have yet to learn. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it. I at some point, just to kind of kick it around a little bit and see if I can get a little bit further and improve my character and stuff like that. But I had a good time with it. But yeah, so there you have it. At number 13 on the PS4, I platinumed this game actually, because it was pretty straightforward. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. Super story focused, very story heavy, and confusing for a lot of the game until like you get towards the end, and then everything starts kind of like you're kind of doing like bits and pieces from different time periods and like all over the place, and then slowly everything starts to come together, and it actually comes together really nicely. I really enjoyed it. The art style, oh my gosh, the art and the visuals in that game are drop dead gorgeous. It is incredible. I actually kind of enjoyed the combat too. It was like a RTS kind of style. It's a very unique game. I've not played anything like it. I definitely would recommend that to anybody, whether you're a story focused gamer or not. It's definitely worth checking out just to I take it back. If you're not a story focused gamer, you might not get a ton out of it because it's pretty story heavy. But if you are a story focused gamer, I absolutely recommend it because it's a great game. But yeah, there's just a lot to learn, a lot to take in, and a lot to process. Honestly, after finishing it, I'm still not 100% sure I fully understood it. Even though after I finished it, I did go to YouTube and watch like a couple videos explaining everything. I was like, oh, that makes sense now. Okay, yeah. The concept, and it's just really, really cool. I wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody who has looked at it and thought, I might check this out. Do it, because it's a great time. At number 12 is a classic, just a general classic, Castlevania on the NES. I beat it in an afternoon. It was wonderful. I loved it. I have played it so many times, never really like got to the end or anything like that. This time, I will wholeheartedly admit, save states was able to help with that. But it's just such a like leap above so much that had come out in that time period, and I'd put it up there, definitely with some of the best the NES has to offer. It's just such a wonderful game and so well put together as far as the looks and the environments, the enemies you fight, the weapons you get, and it's just a really, really good time. If you like 2D side-scrolling like action games and stuff, I wholeheartedly recommend giving it a shot. It's really short. It's not easy, but like I said, with save states, it really isn't bad at all. And it's one of those that I think if you are somebody like me who likes to play through their backlog and try to make sure you hit like the classics, Castlevania, if you haven't, is something that you need to knock off, right up there with like Metroid and that kind of thing. So definitely give it a shot if you haven't already. That's Castlevania on NES. And finally, at number 11 is the third game in the Trails in the Sky trilogy. That is Trails in the Sky the Third. I loved having so many characters at my disposal. It was great having this massive party of characters to choose from and mix and match and choose who I wanted in which parties and that kind of thing. And they had moments where your party would split throughout the game, and then you would have to divide up your characters, a la Final Fantasy VI, which I just adored. I thought it was a blast, and the gameplay was wonderful. The story was a little weak, and I after I finished, I kind of went online. I was like, I wonder if other people feel this way. And sure enough, a lot of people felt the third is the weakest in the trilogy story-wise. Not that it's bad. It's not bad by any means, but it is like, it's just a little, it's very different from the other two. And if you've played it, you know what I'm talking about. You don't really have to play this one if you are just planning on playing the first two, because the first two connect one right after the other, and they connect beautifully. This one is like a cap-off that, it's almost like when you play a game nowadays and they release an expansion for it. This is like an expansion to those. Not necessary to play the base game and have a full picture of what's going on, but it does give you some nice new information and expand upon a few things, character backgrounds and world history and that kind of stuff. So it's worth checking out if you really enjoyed the first two, but if you don't play it, you're not missing out on anything crucial. If you're like me and you like that gameplay, where you have just tons of characters to choose from, and like mixing and matching your parties and playing as different people and that kind of thing, thumbs up on that for sure. There you have it, guys. That's part 2. We got 2 videos left. Next video is going to be 10 through 6. So we're just moving right along. Yeah, let me know what you think, if you agree, disagree, all that stuff in the comments. Just tell me what your thoughts are. I love hearing from you guys. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, keep on gaming.